His name was Bill Tillman, born Robert William Tillman, a 10-year-old boy in Pastor Springs, Connecticut. Born into poverty, born with a facial deformity, born to two young but loving parents who gave him everything they could: stability, warmth, and unconditional love. David and Jill Tillman were barely adults themselves when Bill arrived, but they worked tirelessly to give him a home filled with care rather than shame. And Bill, quiet, gentle, and hopeful, loved them with all his heart. But Pastor Springs did not. A town that never accepted them. Pastor Springs was the kind of town where everybody knew everybody, and everyone knew who didn't belong. The Tillmans were poor, different, outsiders. And in Pastor Springs, that was enough to make them targets. Even the sheriff's department, led by Sheriff Roy Davison, treated the family with thinly veiled disgust. To the townsfolk, the Tillmans were a stain on their perfect little community, and their son, deformed and shy, was something to mock, not protect. At school, Bill endured the worst of it. He was verbally attacked, shoved into lockers, tripped in hallways, pushed into mud, and mocked for the scar across his face. Every day ended in tears, and every night his parents tried to mend the emotional wounds the world carved into him. But they couldn't shield him from everything. The Halloween night that changed everything. On a cold, brisk Halloween night, after years of tormenting Bill, the local bullies decided to take things a step further. Raymond Holt, Danny Wilcox, Jessica Lane, Nancy Turner, 4 children from respected families, 4 children who had hurt Bill for years, physically, emotionally, relentlessly. They had a tradition: prank the Tillmans every Halloween. But this year, they wanted something bigger, something crueler. They scooped dog feces into a paper bag, lit it on fire, and planned to leave it on the Tillmans' porch, just to laugh when the freak family stomped it out. The bullies knew something important that night. There would be no consequences, not from their parents, not from the sheriff, not from anyone. What they didn't know was this: Bill wasn't home. He was trick-or-treating with his grandmother. As the children tossed the flaming bag onto the porch, a stray ember blew across dry autumn leaves. The wind did the rest. Within seconds, the Tillman home ignited. Within minutes, it was an inferno. David and Jill Tillman never stood a chance. The bullies panicked, screamed, then ran into the night. They told no one. They went home, washed their hands, and pretended nothing happened. The aftermath. The next morning, Bill's grandmother drove him home, expecting to greet his parents and return him to his room filled with toys and drawings. Instead, they arrived at a blackened skeleton of a house. Fire trucks gone, neighbors watching silently, and 2 covered bodies lying among the ashes. Bill collapsed to his knees, screaming, the sound echoing across the ruined yard. His grandmother held him, sobbing, her arms the only warmth left in his world. But Pastor Springs wasn't done hurting Bill yet. The false accusation. Within hours, Sheriff Roy arrived, not with sympathy, not with concern, but with accusations. Witnesses loyal to the children who started it all claimed they saw Bill near the fire. They said they saw him run. They said he'd always been strange, maybe dangerous. Only his grandmother defended him. Only she said he was nowhere near the house. But her voice wasn't enough. Sheriff Roy handcuffed a devastated, trembling 10-year-old boy and marched him into the station. The town judged him guilty before the ash on his parents' bodies cooled. Bill Tillman was charged with arson and the murder of his own parents. Even at his age, the court, pressured by a town eager to bury its shame, sentenced him to 10 years in a youth detention center. A broken boy, a destroyed childhood, a life stolen by lies. Youth detention, where Bill was reforged. The detention center should have crushed him. Instead, it transformed him. An older teen named Jason, strong, street smart, and surprisingly kind, took Bill under his wing. He taught Bill how to navigate the system, how to defend himself, how to channel pain into strength. Bill learned to lift weights, to box, and most importantly, how to rebuild his shattered confidence. A counselor named Pam helped guide Bill's emotional healing, teaching him how to cope with trauma, injustice, and loss. Year by year, Bill changed. His body hardened, his mind matured. His fear turned into quiet determination. But the greatest blow came years later when he received news that shattered him all over again. His grandmother, his last family, his only anchor, had passed away. Bill mourned her deeply, but she had one final gift for him. Unknown to Bill, she had saved money her entire life, invested it, protected it, and left it all to him. When Bill learned of the inheritance, he realized he now had the means, the strength, the intelligence, and one burning mission: